Was Napoleon a hero or was he a villain? This question has baffled historians for centuries. A figure shrouded in controversy, Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor and military commander, was a man of contradictions. His story is a blend of unprecedented victories, ambitious power grabs, and eventual downfall. Born into a family of Italian descent on the island of Corsica, Napoleon was a child of the Revolution, a man who rose from the ranks of the French army to seize power in a nation gripped by political turmoil. His rapid ascent to the top, culminating in his self-coronation as Emperor of the French in 1804, was nothing short of extraordinary. But Napoleon was more than just a skilled military tactician and a ruthless leader. He was a harbinger of change, a force that reshaped the face of Europe. He brought about sweeping reforms that modernized France and stimulated the development of nation-states. His influence was so far-reaching that his wars and campaigns are still studied in military academies today. However, Napoleon's legacy is not without its dark spots. His authoritarian rule, his exploitation of conquered territories, and his blatant disregard for civil rights have tainted his reputation. His relentless pursuit of power led him to wage countless wars, bringing about death and destruction on a scale previously unseen. Even his greatest military campaign, the invasion of Russia in 1812, ended in a catastrophic retreat. His defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815 marked the end of his reign and led to his exile to the remote island of St. Helena, where he lived out the rest of his days. The Enigma of Napoleon is a tale of ambition, power, reform, and downfall. It's a story that has captivated the world for over 2 centuries and continues to spark debates among historians. Was he a hero who modernized Europe? Or was he a villain who brought about death and destruction in his quest for power? Let's delve into the life of this enigmatic figure to understand his actions and motivations better. Born in Corsica to a family of Italian descent, Napoleon's journey from a humble background to the throne of France is nothing short of extraordinary. In the heart of the Mediterranean, on the rugged island of Corsica, a boy named Napoleon Bonaparte was born into a family of Italian lineage. He was raised under a strict regimen, a characteristic that would later define his military and political life. His early years were spent in the pursuit of education, molding a young mind that would grow to orchestrate some of the most successful military campaigns in history. His academic journey led him to military schools, where he honed his skills in warfare and strategy. Upon graduation, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the La Fère artillery regiment. This was the beginning of Napoleon's illustrious military career, a journey that would see him rise rapidly through the ranks of the French army. The French Revolution, a period of radical social and political upheaval, provided the perfect backdrop for Napoleon to showcase his military prowess. He championed the revolutionary cause, leading successful campaigns against Austria and their Italian allies. His victories on the battlefield propelled him into the national spotlight, transforming him from a provincial Corsican boy into a national hero. But Napoleon's ambitions didn't stop at military conquests. He was a man of vision and saw opportunities where others saw chaos. Amid the turbulence of the revolution, he engineered a coup to become the first consul of the Republic. This was the first step towards his eventual self-declaration as the Emperor of the French, a title that would both immortalize and vilify him in the annals of history. The seeds of ambition were sown early in Napoleon's life, setting the stage for his meteoric rise to power. His early life and the experiences he gathered along the way laid the foundation for the man who would become a pivotal figure in shaping the course of European history. Napoleon's military prowess was evident from the start, as he led successful campaigns during the Revolutionary Wars. This was a man who understood the art of war, a commander who combined strategy, speed, and surprise to win battles and hearts alike. Consider his campaigns against Austria and their Italian allies, where he showcased his remarkable ability to marshal his forces effectively. He didn't just win these battles, he dominated them, leveraging his tactical genius to outmaneuver his opponents. His victories transformed him into a national hero, a beacon of hope in a time of chaos and uncertainty. But Napoleon's military brilliance wasn't confined to the battlefield. He was also a master of psychological warfare, understanding the importance of morale and perception. He knew how to motivate his troops, to inspire them to fight with a fervor that often tipped the scales in their favor. And he knew how to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies, using his reputation to keep them on their back foot. Yet, It was his military expedition to Egypt that truly cemented his status as a revolutionary commander. Despite the campaign's ultimate failure, Napoleon's audacious attempt to disrupt British trade routes and establish a French presence in the Middle East demonstrated his willingness to take risks and think outside the box, traits that would serve him well in his political career. Following this, Napoleon engineered a coup, seizing power and declaring himself as the first consul of France. This was a bold move, a statement of intent that demonstrated his ambition and his belief in his ability to lead. It was a testament to his strategic acumen, his understanding of power dynamics, and his ability to seize opportunities when they presented themselves. Napoleon's military genius not only brought him fame, but also laid the foundation for his political ascendancy. From his early victories against Austria to his daring expedition in Egypt, and ultimately his rise to power as the first consul, Napoleon's military career was a masterclass in strategic brilliance, tactical innovation, and sheer audacity. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French, marking a dramatic shift in the political landscape of Europe. The man who had risen from a Corsican boy to a revolutionary commander now held the reins of one of the most powerful nations in the world. As emperor, Napoleon was not just a military commander, he also became a reformer. He implemented a wide range of political and social changes that modernized France. The Napoleonic Code, a legal framework that he introduced, is still the basis of the French civil law, and has influenced legal systems worldwide. His reforms extended to education, administration, and finance, aiming to create a meritocratic society where positions were given based on ability, not birthright. However, Napoleon's rule was not just about reforms, it was also marked by relentless expansion. His ambition knew no bounds. He led successful military campaigns against Austria and their Italian allies, making him a national hero. He even declared his brother Joseph the King of Spain after invading the Iberian Peninsula. This expansionist policy, while it brought glory, also stirred up a hornet's nest of resistance across Europe. Napoleon's reign saw a series of wars known as the Napoleonic Wars. These wars were not just battles for territory, they were ideological conflicts, pitting the ideals of the French Revolution against the old monarchies of Europe. The War of the Third Coalition, the War of the Fifth Coalition, and the catastrophic invasion of Russia in 1812 were all part of this tumultuous period. Despite the wars and the coalitions formed against him, Napoleon showed an uncanny ability to bounce back. His military strategies are still studied today, admired for their audacity and innovation. But these wars also took a toll, not just on Napoleon, but on France and the rest of Europe. The costs were high, in lives lost, in economies disrupted, and societies uprooted. Napoleon's reign was a tumultuous period in European history, marked by unprecedented conquests and sweeping reforms. It was a time of great change, of progress and devastation, of triumph and tragedy. The echoes of Napoleon's rule still resonate in the corridors of history, a testament to his profound impact on the world. Despite his military genius and political acumen, Napoleon's ambition ultimately led to his downfall. Napoleon's thirst for power and conquest, while initially his driving force, would eventually lead him down a path of destruction. In 1812, Napoleon set his sights on Russia, launching a campaign that would prove to be disastrous. With the harsh Russian winter as an unyielding adversary, his grand army faced unimaginable hardship. The disastrous retreat was a blow to Napoleon's image of invincibility and marked the beginning of his downfall. Following this catastrophic defeat, Napoleon was exiled to the small Mediterranean island of Elba. But the ever-defiant Napoleon escaped after less than a year, returning to France where he regained power for a brief period known as the 100 Days. Yet, his comeback was short-lived. Napoleon's fate was sealed at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, where he suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of the Seventh Coalition. Following Waterloo, Napoleon was exiled once again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. It was here that Napoleon, once the ruler of a vast empire, would spend his final years. Isolated and defeated, he had time to reflect on his actions, his victories, and his losses. During his time on St. Helena, Napoleon reportedly said, "From the sublime to the ridiculous is but a step." Perhaps he was thinking of his own journey from the heights of power as the Emperor of the French to his humble existence on a remote island, thousands of miles from the country he once ruled. Napoleon's fall from grace was as dramatic as his rise, ending a chapter in history that continues to fascinate us even today. Napoleon's story is a tale of ambition, power, and downfall, a reminder that even the greatest of leaders can fall, and that the consequences of unchecked ambition can be severe. Even in defeat, Napoleon's legacy as a military genius and a transformative leader endures, making his story one that continues to captivate us centuries later. As we reflect on Napoleon's life, the question remains, was he a hero or a villain? The tale of Napoleon Bonaparte is one of contrasts. On one hand, we see a Corsican boy who rose to become the Emperor of the French, a leader of great military prowess, a reformer who modernized his nation. He led successful campaigns that are still studied by military strategists today. His reforms brought about significant changes in France, leading it into a new era of modernity. He was instrumental in shaping the development of nation-states in Europe and sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States, thereby doubling its size. However, on the other hand, we see a ruler who seized power through a coup, who declared himself emperor, who led his nation into numerous wars, and who was ultimately defeated and exiled. His rule was marked by authoritarianism, and his exploitation of conquered territories raises questions about his regard for civil rights. His disastrous invasion of Russia and the catastrophic retreat that followed cost many lives and led to his ultimate downfall. In light of these points, the argument is twofold. To some, Napoleon is a hero, a brilliant military strategist who led his nation to greatness, who modernized France, and who had a lasting impact on Europe. For others, he is a villain, a man who seized power, who led his nation into devastating wars, who exploited conquered territories, and whose authoritarian rule disregarded civil liberties. This dichotomy is a reminder that history is not black and white. It's filled with complex characters who, like Napoleon, can be seen as both heroes and villains depending on one's perspective. It's a testament to the enduring complexity of human nature and the multifaceted nature of historical events. Whether you see Napoleon as a hero or a villain, there's no denying that he left an indelible mark on history, shaping Europe in ways that continue to resonate to this day.